I'm guessing you're here because you have a woodworker or a DIY dad or a carpenter in your life and you want to bless him with some really cool woodworking tools for Christmas. Well, you're in the right place. And if you're the woodworker, then it would be a good idea to share this video with your loved ones so they know what to get you. I'm Brett. Welcome to my wood shop. A lot of people think woodworkers are hard to buy for. You might be like, I don't know what to give a woodworker as a gift. I don't know what he has or doesn't have, or what he needs, or what he'll actually use. My family says I'm hard to buy for because whenever I need something, I just go out and buy it for myself. That's actually kind of true. My dad was the same way. I guess I learned it from him. That being said, my wife has been very generous over the years, buying me the next big tool that I want for Christmas or Father's Day. She got me the planer, the jointer, the oscillating spindle sander, not to mention this $1,500 bandsaw behind me. I guess I just mentioned it. Thank you, honey. By the way, did you notice the t-shirt? Before we get into my woodworker gift guide, I just want to let you know that I've made your shopping very easy by listing all the gift ideas that I'm going to mention in the description below this video, with links to help you find exactly what I'm going to show you, mostly on Amazon. And while you're down in the description, scroll down a little further and leave a comment and let me know what's the best or possibly the worst Christmas gift you've ever gotten. Another thing I want to get out of the way is that I'll probably be using the pronoun he or him when referring to your woodworker or carpenter, because most of the woodworkers I know about are guys. But I do recognize that there are plenty of ladies who enjoy woodworking and DIY projects too, and I don't mean to exclude anybody, I just don't like trying to be PC. So whenever I say he or him, just go ahead and insert whatever pronoun works for you. Okay, enough disclaimers. Now let's get into it. Oh, and one more thing. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video for a super secret bonus tip I want to share with you. And maybe even some discount codes. Dude! Okay. Here are my top 15 Christmas gift ideas for the woodworker in your life. There are a handful of things that every woodworker goes through a lot of, some of which are glue, sandpaper, and of course, wood. Well, let's start with glue. As you can see here, this is just a sampling of some of the types of glue that a woodworker might use. Your woodworker probably has his favorite, and what I would recommend there is sneak into his wood shop when he's not around and take a look and see if you find one of these in his shop. That's probably the one that he'll use the most. Each type of glue has a slightly different purpose. Titebond has 3 different varieties. Titebond 2 is a very middle of the road, multi-use type of glue. Titebond 3 for outdoor, and it has a longer open time. And there are several others. Elmer's makes wood glue, and there's other ones that I'm not remembering. If he does a lot of woodworking, if you just can't get him out of the shop, you might even go with the gallon size jug, but I would make sure you're getting the right kind of glue before you take that step. Another handy thing for glue application is a glue bot. I have a couple of them because I have different types of glue that I use. What's cool about this is if you have a glue bottle like this, you can really only dispense it pointing down. But a glue bot allows you to apply the glue up or vertically. And it's really easy to refill and clean. It's got a flexible tip on it. It's nice and flexible and easy to grip. A glue bot is a great purchase if he doesn't already have one. And even if he has one, he might want a second or a third, like I have. And look at this little baby glue bot. I just got it because it was cute. Another type of glue your woodworker might use a lot of is CA glue or super glue. Again, there are several brands. This is made by JB Weld, which is a great brand. You can find that in any big box store. And then Starbond has different thicknesses, thin, medium, and thick, and different colors, black, brown, clear. And if you're getting CA glue, it's a good idea to pair the CA glue and the accelerator together. And that makes a super fast bond. One more thing about glue application is a silicone glue brush comes in real handy for spreading the glue around, and then once it dries, you can just peel the glue right off and reuse it. I've had this for years and it's still in really great shape. And this is made by Rockler. Next, let's talk about sanding. Sanding is part of pretty much every woodworking project unless it's really rough work. If your woodworker has one of these guys, it's called an orbital disc sander. It'll have holes in the bottom to allow you to use dust collection and suck up the dust as it's being created. Most of them come in a 5-inch diameter disc, and it's just a hook and loop. You stick it on and away you go. There are many types of sanding discs that you could get. These have the holes that kind of match the bottom of the disc sander, and they come in several different kinds of grits, and your woodworker will need several different kinds of grits. So if you don't know what kind of grit to get them, buy a multi-pack and he'll be happy with that. Comes in packages like this. There are other types. One brand that I like a lot is Pro Sand, and this has multiple small holes, so you don't have to match up the big holes like this. So it's just easier to put on and more effective in the dust collection because there's more airflow through it. So that's Pro Sand, looks like that. 3M makes one that's similar to that has multiple holes in it, and 3M is just a great quality product. This is a multi-pack of different kinds of grits. And this next one that I've discovered on good old YouTube University, just like you're watching here, is this Abranet, which is just a mesh. So there's tiny little holes all throughout, so it doesn't really matter how you get it on. But again, sticks on like hook and loop. Really great for dust collection because it just sucks all of it through. I would still wear a dust mask when using this, but I've found that the ambient dust being scattered around is a lot less with this Abranet type of sanding disc than with other brands and types. It is more expensive, but if you're doing a lot of sanding, I think it's worth it. Then if we're not using a rotary sander and we're just sanding by hand, sandpaper comes in sheets also. You can cut it down to fit a sanding block like this, and they make multiple different kinds of sanding blocks. One cool set that I got is these sponges they're called soft sanders, and they just come in different shapes and contours. So you just wrap your sandpaper around there and it'll allow you to get into grooves and around curves and bends in the workpiece. So those have gotten a lot of use in my shop. And then something else I've discovered recently on YouTube University is, I'm not sure what you call this, an abrasive cleaning stick, I guess. It's kind of like one of those gummy erasers that you'd find like in the art store, only it's a ginormous one, and you just run it along your sanding disc or sanding belt, and it cleans off the dust to prolong the life of the sandpaper and make the sanding more effective. So this is cheap. It's going to last a really long time. Your woodworker might not know about this, so that'd be a nice surprise. Another thing that woodworkers use a lot of is clamps. There's an old saying in woodworking that you can never have too many clamps. And there are many different kinds of clamps, and no one kind of clamp can do all things. So here I have just a few examples. There's many other types, but I don't have time to go into all of it. There's these strong little spring clamps, similar to that, bandy clamps that are a spring clamp with a rubber band to go around the edge of things. There's C-clamps, squeeze clamps that are quick and easy to use. They come in multiple different sizes, big long ones like this. There's wood screw clamps that you can really clamp down and get them nice and tight. These have multiple uses. There's F-style clamps that look like an F. Again, these come in different sizes, different qualities as well. These Irwins are okay. Not the best, but they work, and they're pretty inexpensive. Then you got your Bessies, which are kind of top of the line. They are nice and solid. If you got Bessie clamps for your woodworker, he'd be really happy with you. They got big guys like this. So those are F clamps. Pipe clamps are another inexpensive option. I have one here holding together my makeshift table, and they come in a package like this. You can buy different lengths of this steel pipe, and one end screws onto the threaded end of the steel pipe, the other end slides over, and then it's got a screw to tighten it down. Similar to the pipe clamp is the parallel clamp. I have another one over here holding together my makeshift table. These Irwin ones are just okay. The Bessie ones are amazing, but also very expensive. Then we have strap clamps. These is a little hard to demonstrate, but it comes with a long strap, and then these pieces fit around the four corners of a project, and you can tighten it down to bring the whole project together all at once. These are great for like building chairs or frames, things like that. Again, there are so many different kinds of clamps. I'll leave examples in the description below for kind of good, better, and best, and you can go from there. Every woodworker worth his salt has a wide collection of clamps, and if he doesn't have a lot of clamps, he's not a woodworker. Next is measuring tapes. You see I've got a few here. This one's 30 feet. These are 25 feet, and they're just big and kind of heavy and bulky. And if I were going into the hardwood dealer, I want to bring a tape measure with me so I know how much material I'm buying. I think something that would work way better is a 9 or 10 foot. Okay, this is a 12 foot. This one stays out when you pull it out, and then it's got a button to retract it. I like this one a lot. I like the measurements on it. It's not as wide, so it's a little easier to take measurements from. And I put a magnet on the back of this one so I can stick it to anything metal and have it right there handy. The other advantage of these little ones is that not only are they small, but they're cheap. I think this one was $9 or maybe $10, and you can just buy a few of them and have them all around your shop so you're never looking for a tape measure. Brett, what are you doing? I'm eating cookies and milk. What are you doing? I'm shooting a Christmas gift idea video. Those aren't real cookies. They're bench cookies for the shop. Well then, why do you have milk? I was just being playful. Oh. If you're hungry, why don't you go to the kitchen? Okay? And take the milk. Okay? And leave the bench cookie. Okay? See you upstairs. See you upstairs. Bench cookies are a handy accessory to have around the shop. They have a soft foam rubber on both sides, so you can put them on your work surface and then put your workpiece on the bench cookies, and it won't slide around while you're sanding or routing. You don't have to use clamps to hold your piece down. You can route the whole edge without clamps getting in the way. And they have a threaded insert on the bottom so you can add accessories like finishing cones or risers. And they come in a set of 4 for only 15 bucks. So it's a great stocking stuffer. Next on the list is hearing protection, specifically Bluetooth hearing protection. I've been wearing these around the shop. I just put them around my neck, and when I'm running a tool, I just pop them in my ears. The drawback of these, though they do cancel out the noise of the tools, if I have music playing in the shop, I can't hear the music anymore while I'm running the tools. If you have Bluetooth hearing protection or noise canceling earbuds, the advantage there is they do cancel out the harmful noise of the tools, but you can still listen to music, which is amazing. Apple has AirPods that are noise canceling. They're kind of expensive. Recently I started using these. They're called IsoTunes, and they come with different foam inserts. They're super comfortable. It definitely cancels out the noise from the tools in the shop, and I can hear the music clearly. Another advantage of these is they're connected to my phone, so if I get a phone call, all I have to do is push a button on my IsoTunes earphones and I can answer a call. And I've been told that the microphone is actually a pretty good sound quality. So I just wear these around the whole time I'm working because there's no reason to take them out. I can hear my music, I don't hear the tools, and they're comfortable. So I don't feel like I have to take them out of my ears because my ears are hurting. They also look kind of cool hanging around my neck. It kind of looks like a Jamaican beaded necklace or something. So I like these a lot. And I got this set refurbished, so look for those kind of deals. They're perfectly great, but they were cheaper. So I'll see if I can find a link for you for that. Along the same lines as Bluetooth earbuds is a smart speaker. I have a Echo Dot in my shop, and so if I'm not listening to music through my earbuds, I can play music or listen to a book on tape. With smart speakers, I'm sure you're familiar, they're voice activated. Not only can you listen to music, but you can get other kinds of information. Alexa, what's the weather?
In Hudson, it's 56 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Tonight, you can look for rainy weather with a low of 50 degrees. Hope you've enjoyed your Friday.
Thanks, Alexa. I'm a person who likes precision in woodworking, at least as close as I can get it. And a digital angle gauge is a great thing to have. I keep mine on a magnet strip right next to my table saw. Just got 2 buttons, on, off, and 0. So you 0 to your work surface, and then as you change the angle, it'll give you a precise measurement down to the 1/10 of a degree. A magnet strip is also a good idea for a gift. Mechanical pencils are also nice to have for taking measurements. They always offer a consistent width of lead. They're great for making precision measurements. The drawback of these kind from the office supply store is the lead's kind of wimpy. This mechanical pencil from Pica takes the mechanical pencil to a whole new level. It has a nice beefy lead that isn't going to break on you. You can get a nice sharp tip on it. It even comes with a built-in sharpener right on the sleeve, so you can get a nice fine point. And it's got a clip, so it stows nice on your pocket or somewhere else around the shop. Even better than a mechanical pencil for measuring and marking is a marking knife. And by the way, don't forget to stick around to the end of this video for my super secret bonus tip and a free gift that I think you're really gonna like. A marking knife will not only give you the thinnest line possible, as you mark with it, it will sever the wood fibers and give you a positive stop in the wood that you can feel when your knife contacts it. Let me show you an example. This is how I mark measurements most of the time. I put my knife right at the measuring line that I want and make a small divot. Then I either leave the knife there and mark a square line to the edge of the wood, or even if I lift the knife and then put it back in place, it's easy to find where I marked because the knife lands right back in the divot I made. As I'm getting older, my eyesight is getting worse, and it's getting a little harder to see fine details. But I don't need to rely on my eyes as much with a marking knife because I can feel it. This is also the best tool if you're trying to transfer a measurement around to the adjacent edge, like this. We can't talk about measuring and marking without also talking about squares. Like everything else in the shop, there are several different types of squares available. My 2 favorites are the double square and the tri-square. The double square is ideal for marking in from the edge or the end of a piece of wood. It's also great for making sure my router bits are set to the right height. And a reliable tri-square is essential for several things. You can check for square on the inside corner, on the outside corner, making a 90-degree cut line, checking to see that your saw blade is square to the table, etc. Chances are your woodworker already has some type of square in the shop, probably a combination square like this. And there's a really good chance that the one he has probably isn't the best quality, so the odds of you getting the exact same square that he has is pretty low, especially if you're going with a higher quality square like the ones I've listed in the description. A reliable square is one tool where quality really matters. And speaking of things that matter, if you're getting value out of this video, would you please give it a thumbs up? That really goes a long way in helping my channel to grow. Thank you so much. Next is a flush cut saw, or a Japanese pull saw. I don't actually have a Japanese pull saw to show you because I don't own one, but maybe that's next on my list. It has a nice thin flexible blade and has fine teeth on it for flush cutting, hence the name flush cut saw. These come in especially handy for like sawing off the ends of dowels or just making small cuts that you need to do by hand. This one was pretty inexpensive. The Japanese pull saws can get kind of expensive depending on the quality. Gift item number next is a right angle drill adapter. I recently got this Bosch cordless drill, which comes with several different heads as a kit. And though this is pretty compact, there are some spaces where it's just too tight for this whole width to get in to drive a screw in. This Bosch drill driver has detachable heads, and one of the heads that you can add to it is a right angle. And then you reattach your bit holder, and then you can change the angle of it. And then you can get up into a tight space and still do your drilling or driving. They also make these right angle adapters for aftermarket to fit the drill or driver that your woodworker or carpenter already has. If your beloved woodworker has his eye on a bigger tool like a table saw, a miter saw, a jointer, planer, a drill press, something like that, You better find out exactly what kind of tool he wants, because I guarantee you he has a specific tool in mind. You're going to want to make sure that you get the one that he really wants, because if he's thinking he wants a rigid table saw like this one, and you get him a job site table saw, it's not really going to meet his needs. And he's not going to be able to use it as effectively as this other type of table saw. Or if you bought him the DeWalt miter saw and what he really wanted was the rigid miter saw because he's been watching my YouTube channel, he might be disappointed. I personally am not particularly brand loyal, but some guys are. I do know what features I want, and so will your woodworker, so make sure you know exactly what he wants. Now if you don't know, there are a few ways to find out, and this is my super secret bonus tip. If you start asking around December 1st what kind of table saw he wants, he's going to get a little suspicious if your plan is to surprise him with it. If you want to give him the biggest surprise of all, and you want to give him a big gift, start listening to him talk. Your woodworker is going to tell you what he wants. He's going to be looking at it on the internet. He's going to be saying things like, man, I wish I had a table saw. If I had a table saw, I could do this. Or if I had a joiner, I could do thus and so. If I had that planer, I could make a really sweet chessboard. He's going to be talking about it. Listen, that's the bonus tip. You got to listen to what he's saying. So you're going to have to go into full-on Nancy Drew mode to figure out exactly what tool he wants. You're going to need to know the right brand and the model number. If you know that, you can get the right tool. It's easy to mess up and get the wrong tool if you don't know the model number and the brand name. It'd be like you want a Honda Accord and he rolls up with a Honda Civic. Same make, different model. So how do you do that? Just start showing an interest in what he's doing. Get him talking about it. I love it when my wife shows a genuine interest in what I'm doing in the shop. If you show an interest, your woodworker is going to talk about what they want. Well, if I had that joiner, there'd be no gaps in my glue-ups. Just listen and then start asking questions. If he says something like, well, if I had a table saw, my projects would be so much better. What kind of table saw are you wanting? Just start showing some genuine interest in what he's doing, and then let him show you what he wants as part of casual conversation. Don't wait until December 12th to start asking these questions, because then he's going to get suspicious. So you're going to need to start paying attention now, or last year. So how do you figure it out? Just take a look over his shoulder. He's going to keep going back to it on the internet. And if you see it on the screen, just start asking, what's that, honey? Oh, it's just a joiner. What's a joiner do? And he'll tell you. Just take a look at the screen and you'll see the model number and the brand name somewhere on that web page. So that's what you're going to do. You just got to go into full-on detective mode and ask sly questions and try to figure out what he really wants. And then you'll be able to take what you've learned and get him the most amazing gift. And I guarantee you, if you open up a table saw or a jointer or a planer and you didn't have that tool and that was the one he wanted and you got it for him, that would be amazing. And if you do that, or if you've done that, write a comment below and let me know how that went, because I want to know. So now you should have a better idea of some Christmas gifts for woodworkers. Head on down to the description to find links to the items you've seen here and to claim your free gift. Full disclosure, those are affiliate links, and so if you make a purchase through them, I do get a small commission. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help my channel, so thank you. And another way you can help my channel is by sharing this video with someone you think would be interested by clicking that share arrow. And if you're not already subscribed, please click subscribe and like. Those things all go a long way in letting YouTube know that people are interested in my videos, and it helps my channel to grow. So thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And with that, have a happy Thanksgiving, a very Merry Christmas, and a prosperous New Year. God bless. A lot of people think woodworkers are hard. A lot of people think woodworkers are hard. Oh, and one more thing.